Good morning, everyone, and give yourselves a round of applause. Welcome to the Grand Farm Innovation Shop Grand Opening! Today is a response to Barry Batchelor's question of what is our region's major? All of us have come together and said agriculture technology matters. We can solve problems for growers, for educators, for early stage companies, established organizations. We can work with policy makers, and we can solve problems that make a difference in agriculture and beyond. This morning, you're going to have an opportunity to hear from folks that have made this project happen. You're going to get a sense of the power of technology, the wonder of youth, and what we can do together. And the best part is, we're just getting started. To kick off this morning, I get to introduce you to two board members. Grand Farm is governed by the Emerging Prairie Board of Directors and the Grand Farm Board of Directors. These folks are involved in our strategy, overseeing our finances, and ensuring we have quality leadership to be stewards of your resources and the opportunity. Join me in welcoming from Wahpeton, North Dakota, Grand Farm Board Member Representative Cindy Shriver-Beck, and from Castleton, North Dakota, Emerging Prairie Board Member Representative Jonathan Worry.
Thank you, Greg. Pleased to be here. What an exciting day. Last time I was here, I had to wear my overshoes, but it was great. Welcome to all in attendance, and I sincerely appreciate the members of the North Dakota Legislature for being here and for their past support and what I'm going to call their ongoing support as our next session meets in 2025. Grand Farm serves as a catalyst for collaborative innovation in agriculture. The agricultural industry contributes $31 billion to the state's economy with over 110,000 workers. Amazing. I say that we're number one. I always say that over oil because I'm from here. I'm extremely fortunate to have the opportunity to enjoy a front row seat as Grand Farm continues its innovative approach to solve problems facing the industry that feeds and fuels the world. Thank you.
Thanks, Cindy. On behalf of the community of Castleton and the Emerging Prairie Board of Directors, we welcome you to this celebration of the Grand Farm. The Grand Farm seeks to bring together stakeholders in agriculture to solve problems. And that's actually been at the heart of the Emerging Prairie mission since the beginning. First, creating capital and resources for the business startup community. Next, with the development of additional software programmers through the Emerging Digital Academy, and now the biggest dream yet, the Grand Farm. You'll hear from leaders here today on the steps that were required to make Grand Farm a reality and what's going to be coming in the very near future. So on behalf of the community of Castleton, the Emerging Prairie Board of Directors, we welcome you. Thank you.
Place matters, and growers are at the heart of our work. When we started this project to invite all of you to participate, there was a local kid who was from a seed farm who went to North Dakota State University and was serving in the legislature that said, "I believe in Grand Farm." Michael Howe has been an advocate and a champion for our work. He's part of Howe Seed Farm, and he's here today. And also Vanessa, one of our members of the Grower Advisory Board, the group of producers that let us know that we have opportunities to get better, the folks that talk to the folks building technology and say this could be better or this could be efficient. So join me in welcoming to the stage our Secretary of State, Michael Howe, and Vanessa.
Well, thank you, Greg. Good morning, and welcome to Castleton. I am a fifth-generation North Dakotan. Grew up on a farm just northeast of town. My great-great-grandparents purchased our farmland from the Dalrymple Bonanza Farm. I grew up, I went to Central Cass High School, and the area we're in has had innovation and titans of agriculture located right here in this region. So I can't think of a better place for the future of agriculture than right here in the greater Castleton area. And it's not just the ground we're on, but it's the people here within the region, within the state, There's so many people here in this building that shared this vision, that shared the enthusiasm. How can we bring agriculture well into the 21st century and beyond? This will be a place where businesses come, capital comes, families will either live here in Castleton or in the surrounding area. And as a Castleton native, welcome to the area. You're going to love it here, and I'm so excited for the future. So thank you, Greg, and congratulations.
I just look outside and I am so grateful. And then I look inside and I'm so grateful. We finally have a beautiful day of sunshine, and I think I speak for a lot of farmers around here when I say, boy, is that nice to have today. And I'm very grateful for the vision that people like Greg had and the whole startup that happened out here. As farmers, sometimes we don't necessarily get invited to the table, and so things are done for us that when they come out with them, we're like, well, yeah, but maybe we should have done this instead, you know? So this whole project, this whole process has combined all of the players, and they've talked about a lot of the players today, and we as farmers, we in agriculture use a lot of technology that people don't quite even understand that we do. But there's a lot of technology that is still coming, and it's going to be very welcome. It's going to be helpful for our efficiency and productivity and safety, and to help provide where we can't have enough people on our farm lately because labor is hard to find. Some of this will help a great deal with that. So I look forward to the future of what this brings for us and for what it does for our whole community and for all of North Dakota ag and beyond. And I thank you. It's really nice to see all you people out here supporting this and ag technology for the future. Thank you.
In 2011, I just got done wandering around the world, and I didn't have a job. And I had an opportunity to be recruited to stay in North Dakota. I didn't want to stay. I was going to go overseas. And a gentleman named Doug said, hey, Greg, why don't you join my team, learn as much as you can. He gave the seed capital for Emerging Prairie. He's been a champion for technology and innovation. He grew up on a family farm that's been led for multi-generations that is here today. He serves as the North Dakota governor, and he's making a big impact nationally. Join me in welcoming to the stage our governor, Doug Burgum.
Thank you, Greg. I look around the room. There's a number of people in this room that I recruited to jobs over the years, because I think there's more technology people in this room than farmers, perhaps. But one of the good moves was re-recruiting Greg to get him to stay. So let's give it up for Greg Tavine and everything he's doing. Thank you, Greg. Well, here we are today, and this happens often in North Dakota. But today is a day of gratitude, and it's a day of celebration. The reason why we get to have so many events like this in North Dakota is because I like to say that this is still a place that's the best of America. And the best of America is a place where neighbors still help neighbors and people come together and create solutions. And we see it here today with the communities and private sector and elected leaders. I mean, there's so many legislators here. I walked in and I thought only the governor can call a special session, but I was worried. I was worried what was going on here. I'm like, holy cow. And then I saw just about every state elected leader that's here, and then county officials and mayors. It's fantastic, the outpouring. And of course, with Senator Hoeven's going to be up here shortly, and the collaboration that we have when you've got a former governor like Governor Hoeven, who's always supported innovation, fighting for us at the federal level. Great things happen in terms of getting funding between private-public partnerships that come together. But like a number of people in the room that have got deep agricultural roots, like Secretary Howe, Burgum family here, and I know there's at least 3 other Burgums that are in the room here, but my great-grandparents homesteaded just down the road from here, north. It's a little better land than Castleton, but I Can't take credit for that. Good, just got smart ancestors. But you think about them in the late 1800s coming here at a time when there was no infrastructure and no electricity, no roads, and for some of them it was even before the railroads came. And think what they would think about today when we're all gathered here today at the cutting edge of innovation in agriculture. And think about the fact that agriculture itself, from the 1900s for that entire century, there wasn't any industry that was more successful than agriculture in terms of increasing its outputs while decreasing its inputs. The most successful. I mean, a reduction in labor that was over 90%. I mean, it was, if there was 100 jobs in agriculture in the year 1900, 100 years later, there was less than 10 jobs in agriculture, but the output was 5 times greater. No other industry has had that. We're going to reduce inputs and increase outputs. But guess what now? We've got a world that needs to be fed. We've got solutions that need to be solved. We've got challenges in terms of our soil health and our land use. And we have to become even more productive. And what's going to happen here in conjunction with I think we almost have a quorum of university presidents too, which is fantastic, because between the research and the innovation that's going to happen and go forward, then you think about how that's going to change and how we're going to be even more efficient, fewer inputs, greater outputs, greater taking care of the sustainable approach. That's all happening here. And then I know we're so proud of places like Bobcat and Case IH and the Bachelors and John Deere Innovation and Howie Dahl and all of the great companies that have been here. But every one of these ag manufacturing companies, why are they in North Dakota? They're not here because we've got steel and tires and we're close to where we're selling the products. They're here because of innovation. Bobcat, the original Steiger, all of those were started by innovation. So when I look at this shop, the cleanest, I guess you call it, cleanest shop I've ever been in, by the way. But when you look at this place and you say, this is happening, what's happening here, think of the companies that may come out. Think of the next Bobcat, the next Steiger, the next KHACE, the next John Deere Innovation, the next Concord. Think of what's going to come from us coming together and actually supporting it. So the exciting part is what's ahead. But wow, we've had a century in North Dakota of people helping to feed the world. And when we've got food security, that's part of national security. So great things are happening. And you're going to hear a lot about grants. I want to give a special thank out. I got Lieutenant Governor Tammy Miller here. She served on the steering committee of TheGrandFarm. Josh Tigan, who was leading the way with advancing North Dakota with the $10 million grant from Commerce, which this won. A lot of great work was done there. And with the support of all the legislators that are here, it's fantastic. But those grants come with private sector matches. And it's one thing, it's easy for us in state government to say, hey, here's a grant. But the private sector, when they step up to help fund this building and do these things, make a difference. And within the private sector group, it takes leaders. And there's one person, not on the agenda, but I want to acknowledge him right here. But he's been an innovator and a leader in our state his entire life, and what he's done here to advance agriculture and low-carbon fuels and paving the way for sustainable aviation fuel, which North Dakota can lead in. This is a massive, huge market. Our capability to capture CO2 off of ethanol plants and store it or utilize it is unbelievable. We're already doing it at Red Trail and Blueflint in western North Dakota. Gary and his team are working with others to make that happen here at the most advanced ethanol plant in the state just nearby. But when someone was asked to step up and be the lead gift, yes, we had the private sector, Microsoft 2019. I know they're here, $1.5 million. Brad Smith, Microsoft president, was here. That was a huge boost. But Gary Theraldson, largest first local person to jump in and help support this with over $1 million matching grant. Castleton came behind that, but I want to just bring him up here on stage. Gary Theraldson, we wouldn't be here without you today right now. Thank you, sir. Thank you, man.
Well, thank you. This is quite a group, and the day that it's 2 years ago. 2 years ago since Greg and Bernie came to see me, and before they left the office, if you've ever had a chance to talk to Greg Devine, he's the most motivating kid I've ever seen in my life, and how can you say no to him? and the thing is, so it was easy. I'm from North Dakota. I want to do things in North Dakota that makes the state better. And I was lucky enough to build an ethanol plant here, and we hire a bunch of people, but we buy 160,000 bushels of corn a day. You know, so it's and we're in the best corn country of the state. So, so I'm just happy to be part of this, and I also want to thank Doug Bergen for being Greg's mentor for years and years, and also to give the grant that really got this whole thing started. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, and thank everybody else who contributed to this great project, all the private sector partners. It's amazing the people that are here today, but I would say the best of America is alive in North Dakota. All of us working together can accomplish anything. Let's go, Grand Farm.
When we got this idea off the ground, Senator Hoeven called a dinner. He invited the CEO of CHS, the president of Bobcat, legislators, and he challenged them to think big, to think about making a difference. It's an honor to have our senior United States Senator with us today. He's an advocate for technology, he's an advocate for agriculture, and he cares about this place. Join me in welcoming to the stage United States Senator John Hoeven.
Thanks, Greg. Wow, what a great crowd. Greg, thank you. So this is what an innovation shop looks like. And I agree with the governor. This is the cleanest shop I've ever been in. And probably never be this clean again, because we're going to put it to work. Governor, great to be here with you. Wow, thanks for all your great leadership and all the exciting things that you're doing and that you're going to be doing. Great to be here with you. This is fun. And again, a new day for North Dakota in so many ways. We got a great history, but we got a great future, and it's exciting, and today is all about that future. Kelly Armstrong, great to be here with you. Did you bring Kramer with you? One of us was supposed to bring him along, I know, but I think it was you. Couldn't have two better partners than Kevin and Kelly, doing just a great job. Our legislators, Mike LaFour's over there, lefty. I don't know if you brought Wardner, and of course going back to Dave Hogue, but Wardner, Chet Pollard, the leadership in our legislature. Obviously, this doesn't happen without your leadership. And then we've got Boku. I think that's Spanish, right? Boku? I'm kidding. We have a lot of legislators here today. All the legislators, stand up. All the legislators that are here. Mike Nathy, Cindy Schreiber back, Wendy, all you guys. Austin Shower. Thanks, Guy. Yeah, all right. I'm guessing Taveen's going to do something remarkable to recognize all you, but having been a governor, one thing I learned is it's pretty hard, right, Doug, to do much without the legislature. And you guys, we have a citizen legislature, and God bless you for it, because you guys do one whale of a great job. So thanks so much. And then I'm really glad, Gov, you had Gary Thoraldson up here. Of course, he's most famous for his softball pitching skills, but he's done some other stuff too, and his incredible support for this endeavor. And so many other great entrepreneurs and ag entrepreneurs as well. Barry Batchelor, like Greg said, one of the initial visionaries, along with Greg, Taveen, Howie Dahl, so many other really titans of innovation, of entrepreneurship, and particularly ag entrepreneurship making this happen. And then the companies. I mean, we have the best companies involved, right? Whether it's AGCO, whether it's John Deere, whether it's Case New Holland, whether it's Bobcat, on and on and on it goes. So all the elements are here for this to be the absolute leading place in the world, really, for precision agriculture. And there's no question that we're going to make that happen. We have a partnership like none other anywhere. And I'm going to touch on it for just a minute. But first I want to make an announcement to kind of add to the day's festivities. And that is, since we have this beautiful innovation shop, where's Tavine? Tavine, where are you? Greg, is it okay with you if we put it to work right away? Or, I mean, do we need to just kind of enjoy it while it's clean and new for a while, and the smell, that, that new car smell, or whatever you want to call it, or can we put it to work right away? We can put it to work right away. Okay, well then let's have a congressional field hearing here right away. How's that? For the Ag Appropriations Committee, should we do that? We'll do that. So this, I've already got it approved through our Appropriations Committee, and as soon as we can schedule it, hopefully one of the very first events is going to be, a national congressional field hearing right here, letting the whole world know once again that we are the lead dog in precision agriculture. And we're going to continue to make sure that we are. John Bozeman, my good friend in Ag World, has already said he'd come out, and we'll certainly invite our good friends from across the river, Senator Klobuchar, Senator Smith, who are on the Ag Committee as well, and we'll see if we can have a nice field hearing on precision ag this summer, and once again call attention to all the great things that we're doing, whether it's NDSU and our outstanding leadership there. Thank you for being here, Big Bison. And I mean that big in terms of persona, not physical, not tummy, yeah. Cooperative agreement between NDSU, TheGrandFarm, ARS. More than $50 million in ag appropriation funding this year, led by NDSU and its partners. The only NSF innovation engine that deals with agriculture in the country. $160 million over 10 years, and now a National Ag Policy Center. These are just a few of the things that are happening right now, right here, because of all of you and this great partnership. Congratulations.
When the community members of Castleton were recruiting TheGrandFarm to come here, Chris Paulson said, I want this to be a place my kids can work. I want them to see technology. I want them to see possibility. And it's with our honor that we get to work with the future farmers of America. Join me in welcoming the 2023-2024 FFA State of North Dakota President, Ty. Let's give it up for Ty.
Thank you, Greg, and thanks so much just for having us. We certainly appreciate the opportunity to be here, to celebrate all of your guys' achievements, and to be in such good company. These are quite the speakers to follow up, but I guess I'll do my best. Like Greg said, my name is Ty McDonald. I served as the 2023-24 North Dakota FFA State President, and joining me today is some of my teammates, our immediate past State Secretary Jack Stopperworth. You guys can stand, too. Immediate past State Treasurer Anna Haag, our State FFA Advisor, or Assistant Advisor, Brianna Mueller. The Central Cass FFA chapter, some of their members are here. You guys can stand up, too. Let's give them a round of applause. And then our State CTE Director, Wade Sick, is around somewhere, too. There he is, waving his hand. So, yeah, we're all just thrilled and tickled pink to be here with you all this morning. So for those of you who may not know, by show of hands, who here has had a background in FFA at all? A good majority of you, so that's great to hear. For those of you who may not know, FFA is a student-led organization that helps its members develop their potential for personal growth, career success, and leadership through agricultural education. And my story in agriculture began not just with my journey in FFA, but pretty much since day one, as I'm the 5th generation on my family's cattle ranch just south of Bismarck. And so on any tour of our ranch, you can see the innovations and the progress that each generation has contributed over the years. I always thinking about our ranch and, walking behind our feed mill, you can see our old Heston hay stacker. which stands as a relic of the past, and has now been replaced by multiple John Deere balers. Stepping inside our machinery shed, you can find a self-propelled New Holland chopper, which is a distant cry from its pull-behind predecessor. And within our new barn, there's a hydraulic chute system with electronic scales and an integrated herd management software, which has totally revolutionized our operation. And so change in agriculture, like any farmer or rancher could attest, comes at a cost. It requires time to adapt to new technologies and equipment. And it's certainly not without its frustrations. As someone who's operated new tractors and combines, it can be frustrating sometimes. But it's a necessary step forward. Without innovations in agricultural technology and change, our industry remains stagnant, which leaves our potential for greater productivity and efficiency pretty much untapped. And so that's why, as a young person whose future is invested in agriculture, and as a member of the FFA, I just appreciate all that the Grand Farm is doing to advance and invest in agriculture as well as the FFA. FFA helps to produce the next generation of leaders in agriculture. For those of you who showed your hands that said that you were in FFA, you probably already know that students who are involved in FFA are prepared for the workforce, and they're primed to be the next innovators and entrepreneurs that will drive our industry forward. And so that's why we're so excited to be here today to celebrate all that Grand Farm has done and for their partnership with the North Dakota FFA and their commitment to nurturing a brighter future for agriculture. So to all our partners and leaders in the industry, the FFA extends a very heartfelt thank you to all of you. Your involvement and support is helping to shape the future in profound ways, and I hope that you really do recognize that because it's having a big impact. And for those of you who maybe are not involved in the FFA, we just love to encourage you to show your support because this is a great way to help change the future and impact the future, whether through mentorship or volunteering or advocacy. You can make a tangible difference. And I think that's something that I hope that you see today in the members that are here and myself on the stage as well. So thank you so much to the Grand Farm for inviting us here today and just for your contributions to the FFA, to agriculture, and to its bright future. Thank you.
Early in the Grand Farm project, I had coffee early one morning at Atomic downtown Fargo, and Barry Batchelor showed up, and he had just got back from the dentist, and he was on pain medication. And he started to say, Greg, after we get Grand Farm off the ground in North America, we can do work in the developing world, and we can do space farming. I was so inspired the next day at a chamber event. I started talking about space farming, and people didn't think we had a chance. But Kelly Armstrong was there. And he said, Greg, keep going. It's worth it. Kelly serves as our United States House of Representative. He's here today to give a message from Washington. Join me in welcoming to the stage one of our first believers, Kelly Armstrong.
I don't know if I was as excited about space farming as Greg was. But I am a firm believer in this, and I couldn't think of a better group to come after than FFA because we spend a ton of time in Washington, D.C. talking about our natural resources, talking about how we're an agriculture powerhouse, we're an energy powerhouse, how we're blessed with each and every one of those our natural resources, but our best resource is these FFA kids. And it's every senior in high school from one end of the state of North Dakota to the other. And it becomes, and places like this, and the technology that we are developing here, that we're going to innovate here, that we're going to continue to do here, allows every single one of them the opportunity to move into the 21st century and do what we do best, which is feed and fuel the world. And we can't do that without risk takers. And those risk takers are from Gary to, I saw Ron Bergen here, but the original risk takers are the guys who are working in the fields every single spring and every single fall, and have been doing it for generations in North Dakota, and have figured out and came over here and figured out a way to scratch a living out of this dirt and figure out how we take and do what we do best and how we do all of those things. And it is such a hugely impactful reason to be a part of this. So then come forward a couple of years, a lot of years, hundreds of years, and you have one of the best ag research institutions in the country. You have an entrepreneur who starts a tech company in the middle of Fargo, North Dakota that ends up being bought out by Microsoft. You have a ton of aviation tech just 70 miles north of here. And you have ethanol plants in Hankinson and Castleton and Underwood and Richardson. And we have always figured out a way to adapt and move forward. And we're going to continue to do that, but we're doing it with you know this is a big deal because every single politician in North Dakota is here. And that doesn't happen unless you understand how important this is to the entire state, the entire country, and the entire world. So everything that you have done and everything that everybody has contributed to this not only is such a great groundbreaking for all of this, but this allows us to continue to move forward in a way where North Dakota kids get to make North Dakota futures here. And I've spent the last 6 years in DC explaining how our farmers and ranchers are the most technologically advanced business people in the world. And this is more than proof positive of anything like that happening. And so thank you to everybody in this room who made this happen. For those of you that were at breakfast this morning, we started it off with a quote, and we are the dreamers in poetry. For those of you that know me, I don't read a lot of poetry. I do follow a lot of baseball. And in 1977, one of my favorite quotes of all time was Reggie Jackson and Billy Martin. They have this whole of this thing. And he gives a quote, and he says, "I'm the straw that stirs the drink." And I don't think this can happen without the straw that stirs the drink. And that's Greg Teveen. And it really is. And there's never been anybody more upbeat and ready to rock and getting different people from government to the private sector, from tech to ag to everybody, to believe in something that is happening, and we're doing it right now, and it's real proof positive. So for everybody in here and everybody who cares about North Dakota and cares about this project, does that mean I'm done? All right, perfect. I'm done anyway. Can we just give a round of applause for Greg Teveen really quick? He's going to be mad at me when we're done. Thanks, everybody. Here's to the next 500 years of farming in North Dakota.
When GrandFarm got going, we formed a steering committee. A group of folks that wanted to identify the problems agriculture technology could solve. And one of those first champions of that was the CEO of the Bank of North Dakota. Eric Hardmeyer came to one of our events and said, "This is the most exciting project of GrandFarm that's in his career." This spring, Eric passed after serving on our steering committee and on our board. Today, to pay special tribute to a friend and a mentor, join me in welcoming one of Eric's classmates from Mott, North Dakota, Senator Don Scheibele.
Thank you. What an honor to be here to honor Eric. As it was mentioned, Eric and I grew up together. We have been friends for over a half a century. We did a lot of things, and in early 80s, Eric decided he'd move back to Mott and take over the family business of H&J Implement. H&J stands for Hardmeyer and Johnson. Well, you got to remember, the early 80s wasn't great for agriculture. Buffalo Commons was talked about. CRP was taking over much of our land. It just wasn't a great time for agriculture. So under the guidance of his father, Ted, he decided that probably business was probably a better choice. And well, it was a really sad day for me in Mott, North Dakota, but it was a really great day for North Dakota. He ended up in the Bank of North Dakota, and ended up being the president for a long time. And if anybody that knows Eric understands what a valued treasure he was. He always had a vision for looking past the horizon and looking towards the future. He was always really great at surrounding them with great people and then leading them and guiding them to bigger and better things. We've always appreciated Eric. I got to tell you, one of the last conversations I had with him, he was no longer associated with the bank, so he no longer had to be nice to legislators, so he let me have it. And, you know, and at that time, he was very sincere and said, you know, take care of North Dakota. He said, take care of the state employees and quit spending all of our profits. You know, so he always had a vision, even at that time, looking forward of what was best for North Dakota and what was best for rural America and North Dakota. Of course, his main focus was his family and his kids, his grandkids, his extended family, and his friends. He was a wonderful human being, and he was a great asset to North Dakota. It's too bad that we lose treasures like that, but I think he inspired enough of us to move forward and move that direction forward. So we would thank Eric, and he will be missed.
I do want to acknowledge Eric's wife who drove over to be with us today, so thank you for coming. Early in the project, we needed money. If anybody knows me, I always need money. We're still willing to cash checks today. And Taya from Kindred came over and said, Microsoft's got a big effort to do TechSpark, to do signature projects. I said, I don't think we're ready yet, Taya. She said, no, we are. I want you to meet Mike. I want you to meet the Microsoft philanthropy team. We want to be part of GrandFarm. Today, we're joined by Mike from Seattle and Taya from Kindred. Taya was part of the GrandFarm Capital Committee. They made a $1.5 million contribution to get this idea off the ground back when we had a tent and 2 porta potties. Join me in welcoming to the stage Mike and Taya.
Thank you, Greg. And it is hard to believe. It's been 5 years, and we were in downtown Fargo with the governor, our president at Microsoft, Brad Smithberry, and many of you were there. And this was all a whiteboard at that time. It truly was just a vision, and gosh, we didn't know where it would go, frankly, at that point. But it shouldn't be surprising that when Greg talks about place, that's the real secret. We have found the right place, but with that comes the right project, which is this, and then on top of all that, it's the right people. And I think you should all feel so blessed that you have got the right people. The leadership that you have here, your congressional delegation, your governor, your state legislators, the boards at both Emerging Prairie and GrandFarm. It's incredible leadership. The universities that we get to now partner with, it makes this all possible. I get the chance to travel around the country and see a lot of these projects. A lot of places have visions, but it's the execution that often falls short. And that's why I think it's such a blessing. We knew that if we hitched our wagon to people like Brian Carroll and William and Greg, that this success was inevitable. So we are so excited, Microsoft, to be one of the first partners in this. We're committed to seeing this through. Frankly, I think you are all remaking the great Kevin Costner movie. This is the field of dreams. So there's no question. And you are making these dreams into reality. So thank you. Congratulations. So excited to keep coming back to see this as the epicenter for ag tech, not in this region, but truly for this country and for the world. And it's just great to have a partner on the ground in the field here, Taya Spellhog. Taya.
Thank you, Mike. You're right, we built it and they came, clearly. My name is Taya Spellhog, and I have deep roots in agriculture here in the Valley. I grew up about half an hour south of here by Kindred, and a multi-generational farmer. This little guy, if he takes after his dad, he'll be, I think, 5th generation, no pressure. But being a part of this has been an absolute dream come true from day one. Just driving here this morning, I know many of you also had chills, knowing the impact that this is going to have not only on agriculture, but on generations to come is something that I think we all should be very, very proud of. So I want to give a big shout out to the GrandFarm team, Brian, Greg, William, the whole entire GrandFarm team, and Emerging Prairie team. It's been an absolute joy to go on this journey with you. And also the GrandFarm board and the other people, the other players that have been part of this. We're here. This is finally it. This is the grand opening, so let's celebrate. Have a good day, everybody.
Mark Watney's on our board. He talks about the power of the family farm. And then there's Terry Wanzik, who talks about the big farm. I think we were inspired by calling the Grand Farm after Terry's farm in Jamestown. He's somebody that uses technology. He's got his kids involved. He serves as a senator. Join me in welcoming to the stage Senator Terry Wanzik.
Thank you, Greg, and it's an honor to be here. When I was leaving this morning, some in my family were asking what I was doing today, and I said I got to go give a short speech. I got 2 minutes, and for some reason they started laughing. I'm a fourth generation family farmer here in North Dakota from the Jamestown area, and I also serve in District 29 State Senate. And I'm trying to stay on script here. Historians have often said that we've seen more advancements in the span of a lifetime in agriculture than we did in the previous 5,000 years. And I've personally been someone that's witnessed and experienced those advancements. I'm the guy who puts a lot of this technology into practical use. I think of when I started driving tractor, I was only 8 years old, and I started with a WD9 40 horsepower international harvester tractor, and now today I'm operating a 640 horsepower 9RX John Deere tractor with a cab and with unbelievable comfort in that cab. So our farms have been great laboratories for ag innovation. Neighbors have often told me that my grandpa was one of the first in our community to purchase a diesel tractor and one of the first to add a fertilizer attachment to his seed planter. So I come from a lineage of early adapters. And we use current technology on our farm, but however, I still am awestruck by the advances that are made in agriculture. Even though I use it every day and see it and witness it, I'm still in awe. And I often think if my grandfather could come back and see the tools that we have today, I know he would be utterly amazed at, you know, the things that we have at our disposal. Tractors can steer themselves. Grain carts and tractors and combines can synchronize and talk with each other. Software maps map our fields down to the square foot, enabling us to plant, seed, and apply fertilizer and herbicides with amazing precision. We also have made great strides in the area of bioscience. You know, yields that made my dad happy many years ago would almost nearly be utterly a disaster today. We have greatly and tremendously improved the efficiency and production of in our ag industry. There's no doubt about that. The future is bright. New technologies will advance exponentially. Automation will play a major role, and this is where I believe GrandFarm will come into play and will excel at. They will move forward in partnership, hand in hand with our farmers, in moving us into a great, bright future in agriculture and also a bright future for our posterity. So thank you, GrandFarm, and I'm honored to be here again, and congratulations, and hope all goes well going forward. Thank you.
So we need innovation, we need entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs need capital. Our next speaker is from Bismarck. He created the LIFT program that many entrepreneurs have used. He supported House Bill 1425 that introduced in-state investment programs to allow entrepreneurs to have access to capital, to take risks, and to solve problems. He's also a lifetime 8.39 ERA at the University of Minnesota. Join me in welcoming to the stage, Representative Mike Nathy.
Thank you, Greg, and it's an honor to be here. When Greg asked me to speak, I asked him what he wanted, and he said, well, whatever you write, just keep it to 2 minutes. And anytime you give me an open mic, it's a little dangerous. So I wrote a little something here this morning to keep me on point. First of all, I want to congratulate Greg and his members at GrandFarm. This is truly a momentous day in ag tech industry in the state of North Dakota. GrandFarm has caught the national attention of leading ag players in the country and abroad. The state legislature has been working diligently to provide an advantageous environment for ag research and innovation. The state has invested substantially in not only money, but also in developing programs to help facilitate the growth of ag tech in North Dakota. As Greg mentioned, 1425, otherwise known as the In-State Investment Bill, has been used to help numerous companies start and grow here in the state. Using state oil revenue dollars to develop ag technology is a fantastic use of those revenue dollars, which in turn not only helps grow the state's economy, but also provides numerous opportunities for the people of North Dakota. Another program the state has developed is the Legacy Investment Fund for Technology, otherwise known as LIFT, and I know a lot of you are surprised to hear me talk about it. The program helps companies who are on the verge of commercialization. LIFT has played a key role in numerous North Dakota ag companies in the state, such as Bushel and Apario, that have experienced tremendous success and growth, that they have become leaders in the ag sector in the U.S. In fact, Apario is now a part of AGCO, and AGCO will be the first tenant here at Grand Farm. Grand Farm has tremendous potential in its future. By creating a welcoming, business-friendly playing field for ag tech industry, the state of North Dakota, working in conjunction with Grand Farm, could truly become a leader in ag technology in the world. This is the exciting potential Grand Farm has in its future. Again, congrats to Grand Farm, good luck, and enjoy the moment. Thank you.
The state put up 10 million bucks and we had to match it. Dan Krest, who had just moved to the area as part of Ag Tech Week, said, I bet I can get my friends to get involved. He called his friends at CoBank, Compeer, Farm Credit Services of America, and Ag Country, and they made a $1.1 million contribution to make this happen. Join me in welcoming the stage from CoBank in Omaha, Nebraska, Marcus. Let's welcome Marcus.
So I'm not exactly sure how Greg pulled this off. I mean, I'm not a politician. I'm not from North Dakota. So somehow a fifth-generation farmer from Nebraska made the stage here. But really excited to be here today in partnership with our friends at Ag Country, Farm Credit Services America, and Compeer to really, capitalize on this and support Greg and his team and the vision and the strategy and the vision they have and the energy. I mean, I've never met anybody with as much energy and passion as Greg here. So congrats on that. Wow, what a great space, right, for innovation and collaboration across the entire ag ecosystem. A great place for people to come and partner and collaborate. Because one thing's for certain, we know today, and that is the speed of change is at its slowest pace today than it ever will be in the history of mankind, right? So executing on the vision and the strategy of Grand Farm is imperative for the ongoing success of U.S. agriculture, rural America vitality, and we're really happy to be part of that and help support it. So it's exciting today to see the energy in motion. It's exciting to be here today for celebrating this grand opening, but I think the most exciting thing is what's yet to come, right? The great ideas and things that will come out of this center for generations to come that'll have a major impact on how we feed the United States of America and the global population as well. So again, congratulations.
There are 70 Grand Farm partners. Raise your hand if you're a Grand Farm partner. We got 70 partners. The very first one that said, we're going to help. NDSU was doing a trial, and CHS said, hey, we want to be part of that. And so today, we are here after last week announcing a significant partnership with our friends from CHS. David Black is here, and he is the Chief Transformation Officer. He believes in technology, and he's going to talk about how the Grand Farm will be utilized by one of the best countries in the United States, or companies by one of the best companies in the United States of America. Join me in welcoming David Black.
Thank you, Greg. It's an honor to be here at the opening. It's also an honor for CHS to be a Sky-tier partner of Grand Farm. As Greg mentioned, we've been on this journey since day one. We've been on the journey because we believe innovation, technology are critical for agriculture, which means the Grand Farm is critical for agriculture. Now, this idea of innovation and technology is more than just a concept, it's reality at Grand Farm, and I'd like to share with you an example of what I mean by that reality. I'm really pleased to announce today, with the support of state leaders, with the support of the Department of Transportation, CHS is launching an autonomous vehicle program here in the state of North Dakota. We've already got 10,000 safe autonomous vehicle miles under our belt, and we're really excited about bringing this innovation here to the state. You probably saw a couple of CHS trucks out front. Those aren't typical trucks. Those trucks are equipped with self-driving technology and configured in a platooning mode. That self-driving technology is by a company called Kratos. Kratos is an innovator in autonomous vehicles. CHS and Kratos met right here at Grand Farm. We were introduced to Grand Farm before this building existed. When Greg talked about having tents out in the dirt, we were meeting with Kratos. So we're an example, Kratos is an example, Grand Farm is an example of the reality of bringing innovation and technology to agriculture, and it's already happening. So with that, I'm really excited about the path we've been on so far, and I'm even more excited about the innovation, the relationships that will come to really continue to advance technology and innovation and agriculture. Thank you.
Over 700 organizations applied for a National Science Foundation opportunity to bring $160 million to their community. Led by North Dakota State University, our local chamber, our local EDC, our tribal colleges, and Grand Farm, we were the only winner focused on agriculture and one of 9 winners in the United States of America. Join me in welcoming to the stage the CEO of the effort, Dr. Holly Mackey.
Thank you so much. So it's an incredible opportunity to get to stand here and share with you a little bit more about the generational opportunity that Senator Hoeven had talked about to begin with. But so the North Dakota Advanced Agriculture Technology Engine, or FARMS, Food Systems Adapted for Resiliency and Maximized Security, is a really ambitious ecosystem project. And so what we've done is we've thought about some of the things that Grand Farm is doing and the ways that they're building an ag tech ecosystem, and then put together a proposal that expands that not only across the state in terms of the ways that we can incorporate indigenous knowledges, new American populations into our state's ag ecosystem, but also to think about the ways that use-inspired research can help growers as we connect that into our labor markets with education and workforce development, and thinking about translating those innovations into practice. So essentially what we want to do is identify local solutions to food security, and then think about the ways that those can be translated across the globe. And so many, many of you have helped us. You've been a part of our journey. You showed up for our site visit. Our legislators have supported us on the local and national level. And we're just thrilled now in month 3 to really kick off the work that we're doing. And we're proud to be partnered with Grand Farm in this journey. Before I step off the stage, just so you know, our partners are Grand Farm, North Dakota State University. Sorry, there's a fly up here. Trying to be eloquent, and there's all a fly flying in my face here, right? The Greater Fargo-Moorhead-West Fargo Chamber and the Fargo-Moorhead Economic Development Corporation and the North Dakota Tribal College System. So I look forward to meeting more of you throughout the course of the week, and I look forward to figuring out how we might connect, because what we would really like to do is ensure that all North Dakotans are represented in our engine and that maximum opportunities are provided to everyone across the region. So thank you very much.
All right, we're almost to the big reveal. So, startups matter. We had an opportunity to meet a serial entrepreneur that wanted to use robots to get rid of weeds. How many of you don't like weeds? Kenny really doesn't. He couldn't get into the University of North Dakota, so we went to MIT. He's had a tremendous amount of success. He's working with some folks that are doing incredible work like SB&B to use technology to solve problems that don't put humans at risk. Join me in welcoming to the stage, Kenny.
Thanks for having me here. Our company's name is pronounced iGen, but often people mispronounce it as Asian. And when they ask me, "Are you Asian?" I nod, I said, "Yes, I am." And 100% American, thank you. Either way, there's no wrong answer. And we're deploying a world's first fleet of 100% solar-powered autonomous robots to fight herbicide resistance right here in the Red River Valley region. So we're so excited about that. But we first wanted to say thank you to the TheGrandFarm team. We were first introduced to Dr. William and the executive director here, and he introduced us to amazing communities, scheduled organized happy hours with SBMB team, the Sinner Brothers, KWS, EDC, with Joe and Ryan if they're here. We got the opportunity to meet so many amazing people. And he also introduced us to Brian Carroll, who we met at the Sugar Beet Conference for the first time. And if you meet Brian, he's so full of energy and life, but I didn't know who he was. Like he's a co-founder of TheGrandFarm, right? And I said, "What do you do at TheGrandFarm, Brian?" And then he had this glint in his eye, and he had this long gaze. It's like, what do I do at TheGrandFarm? But we know he does amazing things. Now I know he's a visionary. He pulls communities together. The last thing I want to share is I needed a spot to do some work and check some email, make some phone calls, and then so William offered. He's like, "Hey, take my desk." And I was on my way there, and then I ran into Greg, and I don't know if you remember, it was like a 30-second exchange, and he said, "You know, just take my office. It's like, it's private, close the door, take it as long as you need." And these are the moments where companies like ours, small organizations, just really remember the power of community. It really makes a difference. And we're in search for local communities and partners that want to co-create a better world with us. So we're honored to be here to celebrate this moment. Come say hello. We have a booth back there. We have a team. Don't ask them if they're Asian. I don't think they are. I don't know. They might be. They're millennials. Who knows what the we are 100% iGen, but we're 1,000% proud partners of the TheGrandFarm team. Thank you.
So what is the TheGrandFarm Innovation Shop? This half over here is going to be the 4th dedicated farm for our friends at AgCo. This side is going to be used for hospitality, hosting. There's an education center, there's a boardroom, there's a conference space. We've got 44 organizations booked to use it already. If you want to do that, we don't have fire code yet, but we hope to get it one day. That was an attempt at humor. We have a temporary occupancy code. We're also going to have an outdoor technology demo. We've got a series of startup plots, organizations that are using the environment for research and testing. We've got 300 acres for our friends at AgCo, and we've got our own plots. We're actually oversubscribed, and we are going to utilize this space. And so we thank our capital campaign partners. We thank our legislatures. We thank all of you. But I wanted to take a moment and thank my family. So if I could welcome onto the stage Sloan, Alexander, and Harper to come on up. And come on, guys. Okay, hold on. Come on, Sloan. Just wait 1 second, okay, guys? Sloan, grab it here, right here, okay. This weekend, I bribed my kids with Sandy's Donuts so they would come out here. They were disappointed there's not a zip line or horses. But as we drove in, they asked, what would we be, hold on, guys, hold on. As we drove in, they asked, what are you going to be planting? And they jumped in the Bobcat, and they wanted to see the robots. And as a 5th-generation person involved in agriculture, I get excited about our future. All of you are innovators, risk takers. You're folks that make these things possible. But I think we all do it for folks like this, that we have no idea what will happen in their lifetime. So as we conclude the celebration, we'd ask you to go see the technology demos and grab a waffle and do all those wonderful things. And guys, I'm just going to ramble to make you really nervous. As our Chief Executive Officer of the North Dakota often starts every speech with gratitude, we say thank you to the vendors, to the craftsmen and women, the donors and the partners. Welcome to the TheGrandFarm Innovation Shop. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Keep pulling. Come on, crowd. Come on, guys. Hey!
Somebody save your soul, 'cause you've been sinning.